Hello, so I'm just gonna get straight to it. This is how I am going to make my cricket enclosure. It is my first time doing this, so bear with me. I will keep you guys updated on how it goes. I actually bought this mini aquarium from Petco, and honestly all you have to do is be patient because they rotate their sales and their aquariums almost always go on sales. I also got the top, which I will be showing later, also like I think 50% off, which was pretty cool. So I also bought these as substrate that I'm going to mix. I will include these in the description. They were both really affordable. I think both of these together was definitely under 20 bucks. I think this one was like 7 and this was like 15 or something, but I'll include them for you guys. And this was Reptisoil from Med. Really big bag, really affordable as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and open these and dump them in here. I'm gonna do half and half. So there we go. I just dumped half of that in here. I'm about to dump some soil too. So there you go. I went ahead and put some soil. I didn't really use that much, to be honest. It's like still pretty, I'd say 3/4 filled. And I went ahead and mixed it, and this is what it looks like from the side. Maybe like an inch or two. I don't think they need more than that to lay their eggs. I think crickets would be able to bury themselves pretty deep and still be okay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and see. I have to figure out like a safe place to empty out the crickets in here and not have them jump out, because obviously I don't want them jumping out in my room. All right, here goes my very first attempt to open up this box. Obviously there's 500 crickets in here and I'm really nervous. You can tell by the way I'm holding the knife. My idea is to prop open this green airway and just shake all the crickets out of it. Okay, so once I prop this thing open and I give it a little shake, I realize that max 5 crickets fall out. And at this point I'm questioning, are they dead? So I go ahead and I take a little look, as you can see, and I realize there are actually so many crickets alive in there. But there are 2 egg cartons and they are all stuck to the egg carton. So there's no way I was going to shake all of those crickets out. The only way to get them out was actually to open the box and remove the egg carton itself. Now, as you can see, I'm really nervous. I'm a bit disgusted. I don't want to touch these things. I open up the sides and I realize that all the crickets are hanging out on the sides. Like they're just like on the walls of the box. So now I know that if I open up the sides of the box, all the crickets are going to jump out. So I've run out of techniques. I just thought I'd have the box face, you know, the fire escape and just kind of dump it all in there at once. As you can see, there were potatoes in the box put as food and meant to hydrate the crickets during shipping. So I just play around with the box until honestly the carton falls down. So I'm going to speed this up for you guys to see. At this point, I am freaking out. I try to close the box because now they're just running everywhere with both crates out. I try to shake the box, but I'm also trying to prevent them from jumping into my apartment. At this point, I give up and I decide I'm just going to close the screen, which you'll see me do right here. I had crickets on my arm. I had crickets running into my apartment. I'm like, there's no way I could have done this inside my house. So anyways, I take a little break, collect myself, try to grab any crickets that I found. Obviously, unfortunately, those had to be killed because I did not want crickets in my apartment, forgive me, but I did step on them. Anyways, I go back to removing all the crickets, and at this point I'm a little bit less stressed because I finished the first box. But we have a second box of 500 crickets to go. And I'm looking at this enclosure right now and I'm like, how am I going to fit another 500 crickets? And I'm debating to myself, should I return the second box or should I just keep it? then I feel bad for the crickets. I'm like, they're probably dehydrated. I see how bad the potatoes look. They're like all dried up. I'm like, they might not make it back. So I'm just thinking here, should I open the second box or should I just keep it at 500?
What?
But yeah, I decide to go ahead and open the other 500 crickets and add them to the enclosure. So with this one, I kind of already know what I have to do. I go ahead and leave the top of the cage half open, and I go ahead and open up the box, and I actually pick up the carton with my hand and drop it in there. I feel much safer when I close the lid on them and I see all, I would say about 700 crickets in there. There was still a lot of crickets inside the box. So I'm trying to get the crickets out of the box, but again, they're all over the walls, and it was really hard. A lot were falling out. As you can see, one just escaped into my apartment. This is me trying to get some back out. It's not an easy process for sure. So if you don't have a fire escape or don't feel comfortable doing this, an alternative would be literally just taking it outside or to a nearby park. I don't think if crickets escaped out in the open that they would cause much harm in a park or something like that. Another option would be as well as if you have a bathtub with glass doors that slide, you can get in there with them. You might risk having the crickets jump on you, but honestly, it's a great way to keep the crickets in one place and maybe even collect the ones that escaped, because to be honest, I believe I lost about 40 to 70 crickets during this process, which I'm not upset about. Obviously, I have a lot, but that is a way to prevent that. I don't know if you have plastic curtains that could work as well without the glass doors, but hey, it might. So I can be seen just taking out one of those egg carton trays because I thought that it was one too many. All that's left for me to do here is just kind of organize the ones that are already in the enclosure and go ahead and remove all the dried potatoes that were in the boxes. You want to do this because you don't want the food to spoil. After 2 days, you should switch up the food because bacteria can go pretty fast in these kind of enclosures and your crickets can die, basically. So yeah, I'm going to show you what the final look of this enclosure looks like. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm kind of freaked out, but I also think it's pretty cool. I do have a ton of crickets. Remember, 1,000 crickets are in here. Insane amount. I don't even want to turn the camera. Anyways, I did cut up some vegetables. They're back there, some potatoes and carrots, and that is all, y'all. I hope you enjoyed.